Hello, leaders. Hey, this is Paul Grau, and welcome to Run to Your Leadership Challenges, the daily show that equips leaders and entrepreneurs to achieve their greatest potential. This show is sponsored by Current Leadership Coaching, and they help entrepreneurs excel as leaders so they can create super teams. Find out more about them at currentleadershipcoaching.com. Well, I hope you're doing great today, and we're going to pick up where we left off yesterday as we were talking about ways to help you master the skill of delegating. I mentioned yesterday that the number one biggest hurdle that nearly every leader that I've ever coached or trained was delegating. Delegating can be one of the greatest skills for a leader because it can actually free up your time and build future leaders within your team. Now, lack of trust is a big issue why many leaders don't delegate. And yet, trust is such a huge gift, and yet it's very fragile. I mean, if you don't trust somebody, it's difficult to put them in a situation where they can earn that trust back. And yet at the same time, if you don't put them in those situations, you may never build that trust again. So here's what I recommend to build trust within your team. And it takes a little time and effort, and it may involve embarrassing yourself for the good of the team. But I'm telling you, this is one of the best ways that I have found to build trust within your team. So the biggest thing about building trust with your team members is that you need to get to know each other. If trust is lacking, chances are good that you just don't know each other very well, because we don't trust people we don't know. Now, this is an easy fix because you can start small by having simple everyday conversations with your team. This could be during meetings or a morning roll call or end of the day safety meeting or something, but just get out in the middle of your team and show them that you're willing to get to know them. Show them that you're willing to have normal everyday conversations with them. Now, once you get these conversations going and they become pretty natural, I would challenge you to step it up a notch by having a team lunch one day. Heck, you may even want to make it a potluck lunch where everyone can bring in their favorite lunch food and then have everyone explain in front of everybody else why they brought what they brought and why it's their favorite food. Now, again, I know this may sound trivial to some of you, but there are few easier ways to really get to know each other than by having a meal together and talking about your favorite foods. I mean, everyone likes to eat, and everyone has a favorite food. And let me tell you, most people are very proud of their favorite family recipes. And this is a big-time icebreaker for your team. And it shows the entire team a different side of everyone. And you will now know something personal about everyone else. I'd recommend you have a lunch every month or every other week or maybe once a week eventually. And I would suggest you have one rule of engagement during this lunch, and that is that nobody talks about work. I mean, nobody. Just have normal conversations while you eat lunch together. And you must lead the way by asking some questions to get everyone engaged. Now, if you struggle with coming up with questions or topics to talk about, man, this is easy. Just Google icebreaker questions or Google great team discussions or something like that. And you'll have more questions and topics than you'll know what to do with. Hey, if you and your team are struggling with trust, you're never going to get to the point where you want to delegate. And we have something here to help you out. We're getting ready to release a 5-part video series on how to create and maintain super teams. This free 5-part video series will give you access to 3 live training Q&As and 1 or 2 coaching calls and some other special surprises. If you're interested in signing up or just want additional information, please visit currentleadershipcoaching.com/superteamsregistration. And you can also find a direct link to that page in the show notes for this episode. Hey, as always, we greatly appreciate you for listening. Have a great rest of the day. And until tomorrow, run to your challenges.